Okay, so good evening, students. Welcome back. So today we will have the balanced part of chapter 4, and then we will have start of chapter 5 also that we'll be doing today itself. Yeah. So before we go ahead, uh, we had a query on one of the MCQs. I think Aditya, yeah, Aditya is there. Aditya, you had that query, so I'll just bring that MCQ back again to get the right answer. See, that query tells us why we must read the questions very carefully in exam. So I'm bringing the MCQ back for all of us to understand how to read that question. So I'm just bringing it back. Okay. This was the MCQ. Now, so someone had a different view on this one. So please understand. Let us read the question again. All except one denote the risk associated with e-commerce. So all except one, which balance our risk, a benefit, a characteristics that is 24/7 by 365. So that is why it is G. Okay. Then, so let us you where we left. You can ask any queries from the sessions we had till yesterday. Okay. So here we were, that is completed the sections, and now this part we wanted to start. We have a query by E. Henry. Sir, how general internet activities are different from e-commerce? Yeah. See, please understand that when you say commerce, so that means there is a commercial transaction built into it. Okay. Now, like watching a movie or watching a YouTube video is not going to be called as a commercial transaction because it is not involving any financial dealing. If you pay a subscription to say this OTT platforms, say Netflix or Amazon Prime, and watch a movie on that, then that becomes part of e-commerce. So there has to be a inbuilt commercial consideration for any online internet activity to be referred to as e-commerce. So that would be a key difference. Okay. So let us continue where we left yesterday. Special laws governing e-commerce. Then we talked about information technology, the trends, the content, social, mobile, biometric, AI, and predictive analysis. So in this part, again, there is an addition that is the last one, that is predictive analysis. But this part is good. So allow me to read some lines from the module itself, the trends in e-commerce. So the key trends, the way we are moving ahead in e-commerce is basically online activities which are increasing day by day. That is how things are operating upon. Then the nature of content that is being provided on e-commerce websites, e-commerce platforms, that is again important. The next key consideration for this is this social commerce and mobile commerce. So the bulk activities done on e-commerce websites, the mobile activities done. Next three are very important. The biometrics, AI, and predictive analysis. So let us keep as they are because we'll be talking more on this as we go ahead. I think we all of us understand the three words by their name, intent, and definition. Biometrics is like my thumb impression is my biometric. So basically, it's access control, very high-end access control technology that is used. Like we all have our Aadhaar cards. So our Aadhaar cards has our fingerprints, scan of our eyes. So that is biometrics of people. So that allows you to have access. It's basically an access control methodology. Then AI, it's very, very important, artificial intelligence. Now, see, AI is basically changing the way. Uh, Now, that is the next upgrade to technology, the way it is being used. I think we all are familiar with a device called as Alexa. It's by Amazon. It's a voice-based command setup. So once you install Alexa, you configure all your home devices on Alexa, then you can switch on, switch off all those devices by a command, a voice command. So that is how artificial intelligence and machine learning is going ahead. Then next you have predictive analysis. Again, very, very important, very high-end use application of the technology to be able to forecast how things are going to flow in the future. This is important. Next very important topic is digital payments. Let us take them one by one. So introduction, new methods of digital payment, traditional methods, advantages, disadvantages. Now see, again, this topic is mobile wallets, Aadhaar-enabled payment services, unstructured supplementary service data, mobile banking, cryptocurrency. Now, before we go ahead, I want to ask you a question on this slide. I'll be waiting for your answers. Now, see, if you look to the way the slide is there, I know we all understand the difference between a feature phone and a smartphone. Okay, so we all know what is a feature phone and we all know what is a smartphone. Payment techniques that you are seeing on your slide, which payment techniques is available on feature phone? Feature phones which don't have this iOS or Android based operating system, which work basically on text based messaging. So which of the technique listed in the slide can be used on a feature phone? I wait for your answers. Just give me a second. So which of the technique is available on feature phones? Great. So Hanvi has put it correctly. It is USSD. Now see, let us understand. So next very related, unrelated question that I always ask. Do you have any wild guess of how many registered mobile numbers we have in India? By the time you answer that question, I'll go ahead. Then traditional methods of digital payment, advantages, drawbacks. So these traditional methods, cards, smart cards, debit cards, internet banking, this is important. So we are not discussing the digital payment methods. You all know it well. The names are clear. If you have any question on that, please put, I'll try to explain. This is very important. Again, once I read this slide, again, I'll be asking the question to you. Okay, before we go to AEPS. So there is a question. AEPS is no Aadhaar enabled. It is not based on the Aadhaar numbers. Okay. Aditya says many. Oh, that's smart answers, smart chartered accountants, smart FCAs, smart future chartered accountants. Thank you, Aditya. Vijay Shankar says 250 crores. No, that is a very, very, very optimistic figure. So today we have around 115 crore registered mobile numbers. Of this, 60% they are feature phones. The growth of smartphone is very high in India, but more than 50% today are feature phone. That means if any technology has to succeed in India, you need to have capability of using that technology on SMS-based systems. So that is why USSD was brought, and these are game-changing technologies. Now, advantages of digital payment. Smart card. Okay, so that is by Nakul. Nakul, smart card. What are? Yeah, I'll explain that. Smart cards are basically, if I understand, all of you have your driving licenses. So your driving license or your vehicle registration numbers, and now credit cards. They have electronic circuitry, a chip on the left top. If you look, you will find a chip. So that is basically smart card. So the details of the user are put into it. In fact, this now the number plates that you are getting on four-wheelers, those are smart number plates. You must have seen uh, the basic number where it is written. To the left side, there is a hologram. There is a right square or a rectangular body resides there. That's a smart chip. Now, see what is the plan. You must have read the Central Minister for Transportation. He made a public statement that next few years, government will do away with all the toll bridges on the national highways. So, see, the plan is that because this vehicle chip that is readable by sensors, infrared sensors, so you travel from any location to any location on national highways within India, there will be no toll bridges because the chip will be read by sensors on the road. So that amount will be automatically debited to your linked bank account. Like you have these fast tags. So fast tags are automatically readable devices that you have to place separately on your vehicle. So over a period of time, probably fast tags will also become irrelevant, and your your vehicle numbers will become the fast tags, and they will be read directly through infrared sensors. So this must give some goosebumps to all of us, because if that vehicle number could be read by infrared sensors, then most we are all young, and I'm including me myself with you. So sometimes we enjoy touching the speed of 100 on our vehicles. So next time it is going to be tough, because that sensor will read that your vehicle has crossed 100 speed. So there will be automatically a challan will be sent to your home, and may have to pay at least one penalty for the challan. The other could be over a period of time, this your insurance premium on the vehicle, accidental insurance premium might increase, because this data will be going to the insurance company, informing the insurance company that this vehicle was driven fast, and you may think of increasing the premium. So see, this is how technology works. So smart cards are those which have those chips inbuilt, embedded in those cards. So these are smart cards. Okay. Now coming to advantages of digital payments. So easy and convenient. You pay or send money from anywhere. You get discount from taxes. Government has incentives when you make payments through smart cards. Then it ensures an automated return record of all transactions. That is important. Then less risk, competitive advantage to business, and environment friendly. Okay, so this is how advantages are put. I want you to all answer. We'll go to the next slide, but before that, you answer. What is one risk you all? I'm asking the risk, not a disadvantage. One risk you all perceive when you use digital payment. Okay. So one risk as a user when you use digital payment, what is that one risk that sometimes comes to your mind while making digital payments? Okay. Then Anirudh had a good point. Anirudh says better pay the challan and enjoy the speed. But then see, technology is going to change the way we all live, behave like that. So you are answering the question. One risk you perceive while making digital payments. And drawbacks. So difficult for non-technical persons. Data theft is a huge risk. Spending. You know this. Lot of research is being done on how people make digital payments, when people make digital payments, what motivates people to make digital payments. I'm sharing a very personal example with you on this merchant websites, e-commerce websites. So when I initially started 4 or 5 years, probably I must have bought my first product online. So the product that I bought. So below that product, a line was written, only one left, and I bought it. So probably that e-merchant website has kept a track of that, to sell to Mr. Gupta, if there's a last item left, he is going to buy it. So now all searches I do, at least in 60%, I find that line written, only one left. So that is how it is. So it does lead to some sort of overspending, and lot of research has been made. So there are few conclusions that few people have become addicted to this online payments and all those things. And disputed transactions. In fact, this is a big issue. All of us, those who have been doing online purchases, many times, not many times, let us improve. Sometimes it happens that you get a wrong product, a poor quality product, a product misdelivered to you. So then, suppose it's a damaged product and there is no dispute resolution, you don't know whom to complain about that. So these issues are coming up. Yeah, then you have all answered. Let me read. Uh, Security issues, that is by Ram Kumar. Ayushi says theft or data loss. Aditi, card number doesn't exist as per list. I can get that. Their requirements, security problem, data cloning. Asmita, she has put very well. Data cloning. I'll read that again. Shankar, in case of cancelling the order placed in online platform, risk of getting amount refunded. Yeah, but then most of the good e-commerce merchants, they have earned and they have reasonably good, robust refund policy. In fact, many of the websites, based on the product, generally the refund is immediate. But if suppose a variable product or electronic product or a mobile or a pen drive, so if those type of products are returned, they take some time to validate and refund. But generally, e-commerce merchants have created reasonably good refund methodologies within their system, within their business. We already talked about a separate department for fraud detection. The example of that, mobiles being sent back, receiving good mobile and replacing the machine and returning to the e-commerce merchant complaining that the mobile was not working. Coming to this issue of data cloning. Now, please understand, it's a huge risk what Asmita has put. So I'll just share an example. It's good to know. See, I'm again asking a question, digital payments. Please listen. It's part of, may not be written directly, but it's part of our understanding on technology, digital payments, and part of the syllabus. See, wherever you go, when you make payment on the point of sale, POS terminals, the point of sale terminal, kindly put your hand above the keypad and then only press the keypad. In fact, now you go to bank's ATM, so there's a warning there on the bank ATM that press the keypad and then enter your PIN number. Please understand, all the departmental stores that you imagine that you go, all departmental stores, as a part of their security, they have video cameras installed at the top of the billing clerk. So whatever PIN number you are pressing, it is actually visible on that video camera. Even if the company doesn't desire to copy that PIN number, but for their security reason, they need to have that video camera. So you all need to save yourself from that risk. Always put your hand above the keypad and then only press that PIN number. It's very, very important for all of us to learn. Now, this example, why I took it, see, if you look to the size of my hand, there's a device, size of my hand, that is called as a schemer. What it does, within 10 seconds, it can clone your credit card. Understand, within 10 seconds, it can clone your credit card. Clone your credit card means if you go to the reverse part of your credit card, there's a magnetic strip. So you can read and create a clone of the credit card. 99% of us have not scratched the 3-digit CVV number. It is already displayed on your credit card. So you give the credit card to a person, like in hotels, you give it to the waiter who is helping you out. So when the bill comes, you give it to the waiter. He takes it to the billing counter, brings back you the charge slip. Please don't do it. Now, mandatorily, you go to good hotels, so they have a point of sale terminal that is Wi-Fi. So the POS machine is brought to your table to save you from that data cloning risk. So it's a huge risk. Bad vegetable quality. Okay, Nandish. So we all learn. So these are drawbacks, disputed transaction, then business for business purposes. It increases the cost and need of internet access that we talked about. Then this is a very, very important part from this chapter, emerging technologies. We're trying to computing technology, the new technologies. Ask as many questions as you can on this. These are fundamental concepts and put to learn and apply us. Okay. So virtualization. This is what these are number of things you need to learn. So virtualization, grid computing, cloud computing, mobile computing, green computing, BYOD, Web3, Internet of Things. I'll try to do this IoT during 5 minutes break. I'll show you I've got this bulb in Wi-Fi enabled bulb that I'll operate through the mobile. So we'll enjoy that IoT, Internet of Things. AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning. So how things are moving ahead, how technology is going ahead. So please understand that the phase that we are all in, that is basically high-end technologies are being used, technologies, capabilities are being shared. So whatever we are going to read from now onwards, all this is how available technology or available power of processing, available power of storages, how it could be shared, used in a better manner, how you could have remote access capabilities from your own home, office, and COVID Corona has already told us to learn more on remote technologies. So it's a very good discussion. Try to ask as many questions on this as you can. Virtualization will take one by one. Introduction, concept, application areas, and common types of virtualization. Now, what is exactly virtualization? It means, okay, so once I read these slides, I'll be asking many questions. So keep yourself on. Virtualization means create a virtual version of a device or resource such as server, storage device, network, or even an operating system. Virtualization refers to technologies designed to provide a layer of abstraction between computer hardware systems and software running on them. Virtualization allows its users to manipulate their system's operating system into thinking that a group of server is a single pool of computing resources, and conversely allows its users to run multiple operating systems simultaneously on a single machine. So virtualization is basically creating a front end, giving a feeling to systems that they are how they are operating. So it's not reality, it's virtualization, giving a feeling. I'm reading line number 2 refers to technology designed to provide a layer of abstraction. So not reality, just giving a feeling to things. The core concept of virtualization lies in partitioning, which divides single physical server into multiple logical servers. So the same piece system in your office, you can virtualize and create multiple servers out of it. So once you create multiple servers, that many number of users can be created. So that many users can be made to feel that they own that machine. The machine is for their own purpose. And these are huge applications. server consolidation, disaster recovery, testing training, portable applications, portable workspace. So, see, if you look at the definitions, what definition is saying that it creates a layer of abstraction. So, through that layer of abstraction, multiple activities can be done by creating this idea about virtualization. So, server consolidations, disaster recoveries, testing training. So you can allow more people to test on a single machine. So you could create partitions, and each partition is going to operate independently. So that is how virtualization works about. Just want to read. Within this also there is lot and lot of topics given in the module. Types. So these are application areas where you do it, and these are the types: hardware, network, storage, virtualization. So let us just take single one line definitions for them. Server consolidations. Virtual machines are used to consolidate many physical servers into fewer servers. So like this Facebook, Gmail, Google, they have thousands of servers across the world at multiple locations. But when you use, we don't get a feeling that we are accessing thousands of servers. That is server consolidation. Then disaster recovery. Virtual machines can be used as a hot standby environment for physical servers. These changes the classical backup and restore philosophy. So what you could do, you could create a virtual machine as a backup machine so that the disaster recovery is and virtually an automated process. Testing training that is taken by you well, so you can create within same server multiple, like in our internet. Okay, disaster recovery, I'll explain again. Let me complete this, I'll come back on that. So testing training, like for example, Institute has installed a big server, physical server, and internet there are, in Inter, there are 8 subjects or 9 subjects. So what the institute does, partitions those that big server into 9 virtual machines. So each lecture is being taken on a single server. That is for testing training. Then portable application use you can take from one location to another. Portable workspace, you can take 3 devices from one location to another location. Now coming to Smita has that query on disaster recovery. Now first let us understand. Okay, so it's part of, let us take it as a syllabus content, chapter 2, 3, you are going to read again. The concept of business continuity management. We did talk about that when we talked about backup. So we shared that backups are corrective controls. We need to have data backup. We use like all our Word, Excel files, PowerPoint presentation, our accounting data. We need to back it up. Why we need to back it up? Because there is a chance of a risk. What is that risk? This can be a disaster. Disaster can be natural and man-made. Natural disasters are floods, earthquake, typhoon, tsunami. These are all natural disasters. Man-made disasters could be terrorist attack, bombs, radiations, chemical spills. So these are man-made disasters. Now, when I say disaster recovery, it basically means that whenever a disaster occurs and it hits your main working location, how you ensure that you start working again. So working again is disaster recovery, bringing yourself to the same location again. That is what disaster recovery is about. Okay. Yeah. So we are on the same mantra. So server consolidation is multiple physical servers logically created as one, like this Facebook and Google are good examples for that. When you access them, they have thousands and thousands of servers all across the world. We never feel that we are accessing a one server, or second, we always feel we are accessing a Gmail server. That's server consolidation. So virtualization is basically creating an abstract. So abstract means, to make it easy to understand, I am using this line. It gives a feeling to the user. See, virtual means which is not real. So that is abstraction. A logical view, how does it appear to the user? That concept is virtualization. Disaster recovery is corrective control. Yes. Then common types of virtualization. So where you, now these are applications. So through types, you can create this application. What are those types? Hardware virtualization, network and storage. Um, Aditya is saying that there are 11 chapters. Thank you, Aditya. 11 subjects in it. Then network virtualization and storage virtualization. So here you merge. So you can bring these things on virtual machines, means you can create abstraction for these types. Then next is grid computing. Now, before we go to grid computing, let me share some example of defining grid computing. There are two good examples on this. So this COVID corona and the vaccine that have been brought across the world. So in India, we are using COVID shield vaccine. Then there's a talk about the third vaccine, probably Russian Sputnik 5 vaccine. And across the world, they have Pfizer, Moderna, then we have the Chinese vaccine. So these are probably 6 vaccines which are being used across the world for vaccinating people, for saving them from corona, COVID. Now, generally, medical research takes, or to be able to create a vaccine, it takes 5 to 10 years. Now, the vaccines have been rolled out within 1 year. So there are trials, clinical trial 1, clinical trial 2, 3, then phase 1, phase 2 trials. Those are basically human trials. So there are 5, 6 stages of trials. And what is done in the trials? So initial trials are in lab, then they are on humans. So all those vaccines are tried on humans. Then the humans respond, and based on that response and based on that data analysis, conclusions are drawn, the risk to human life, the reaction. We are all reading daily report in newspapers, WhatsApp, that some vaccines are reacting to some people. So all this research are done. Now I have shared this with you. See, to launch a vaccine, the time that it takes, say, 5 years, 10 years, now it has been crunched to 1 year. So where does this crunching has come from? This crunching probably has come from something that you are looking on your screen called as grid computing. Now, what exactly is grid computing? Let me give it an example. See, the laptop that I'm using, say for example, 3 hours or 2.5 hours, we have our class. 5 hours, 6 hours, I have my office. So my laptop is busy for 9 hours. For balance 15 hours in 24 hours, it is free. So what could be done? So like WHO, World Health Organization, that is helping this vaccine developers. WHO creates a NGO group, non-governmental organization group, which requests people across the world to allow their system to be used for medical research. So what I will do, I will sign that WHO effort and allow my laptop to be accessed by WHO servers when it is free. So like across the world, you have this time zone. So in India, from say 10 p.m. in the evening till 6 p.m. in the 6 a.m. in the morning, I allow WHO to use my laptop capabilities. So what the research agency will do, it will, with my permission, it will download a software on my system. Every day when we have Indian Standard Time, we have 10 p.m., a data file will be dropped to my system. There will be a software on my system. That data is going to be processed by the software and mailed to the requisite person. All processes are automatic. Now, see what is happening. So through this grid compute, this is what I have done. I have made my computer as a part of the grid computing effort of WHO to do vaccine research vaccine data analysis, say, for example, COVID-19 corona vaccine. This is the application side of grid computing. I understand this must have been done for this vaccine, and some 3 years, 5 years back, another vaccine was developed, another drug was developed on grid computing. Generally, to develop a drug, again, they may take 2 years or 5 years. In that case, the drug was developed within 6 months because grid computing allowed immense data analysis capability, and through simple laptops being joined in grid, you could create supercomputer. So I think we all understand what I mean by supercomputer. Supercomputers are computers which have basic definition of performance, and the basic performance definition is they can process 1 trillion instructions per second. That is called as teraflop. 1 trillion instruction per second. TIPS, they call it, teraflop. The last I heard was IBM had developed a supercomputer with a capability of 36 teraflops. TCS did develop a supercomputer. I missed the teraflop marking of it. Then there was some news. China has also developed a supercomputer with a capability beyond IBM, but I don't know those parameters. What is the point? The point is that through grid computing, by joining systems, you can create huge capability. Your computing capability is going to go immense. That is what we call as grid computing. Let us read from what is given. So, introduction. Now, I have explained with reasonably good example. Grid computing is a computer network in which each computer resource are shared with every other computer in the system. It is a distributed architecture of large number of computers connected to solve a complex problem. So our example is perfect. It fits the definition. In grid computing model, servers or personal computer run independent tasks and are loosely linked by the internet or low-speed networks. Fantastic. So our example is perfectly fits the definition. So you can learn from that. Kiran, yes. So consolidation of, so you don't say consolidation of computer, you say consolidation of processing capability of small independent personal computers. That is the best way, but it's well put, Kiran. Okay. That is grid computing. What are the benefits? So benefits, our example fits the benefit scenario, making use of underutilized resources, resource balancing, parallel CPU capability, virtual resources and virtual organizations for collaboration, access to additional resources, reliability, management. Okay, so before we go ahead, what is the greatest risk you see to grid computing? What risk we all see to grid computing? If we see a risk, what is that one risk that we all see to grid computing? Okay. 10. So grid computing brings machines together. You are answering the question, the risk that you see to grid computing. Okay. A grid is collection of machines, sometimes referred to as nodes, resources, members, donors, client, host, and many other such terms. So the good, Kiran, privacy risk, good. The example that I have given, that WHO vaccine research, what you want to call yourself, so will you be called as node, a resource, member, donor, client, or host? Choose the best one. So what components are there? What resources are brought together? Computation, storage, communication, software and licenses, special equipment, capabilities, architectures, policies. Good. So these are the resources which can be brought together for grid computing. That is how it works. So this question that you're answering, that suppose you contribute to vaccine research, you join the WHO WHO grid for vaccine research, what you will be calling yourself? A node, a resource, a member, donor, client, or host. Application areas, phenomenal. Ram Kumar says confidentiality is a risk. Yes. So Kiran says that we will call ourselves as donor. Thank you. Great. And what WHO will be? I'm not bringing the slide back. What WHO will be from that slide? So we will call ourselves as donors. What WHO will call itself on that slide. Okay. Application areas, again, understand. See, today, like just as an example, I'm talking about, India developed its first supercomputer in 70s, early 70s by the name Param. Now see, when you develop supercomputers, so it has a lot of civil and defense application. One of the major defense application of supercomputer is nuclear bomb and data analysis generated from nuclear bomb explosion. So what is the point? The point is that when you are creating huge computing capability, you can do a lot of good research. So grid computing is a great enabler to that research. Then rest is like whatever application areas you are looking at, these are only illustrative examples. You can always add more based on your understanding and the example that I have been sharing. So you have all. So Ramkumar will preferably call it as host because the whole NGO was sponsored by WHO in our example. So it's good. Thanks. Rosmita says host, and then Meghna also says host. So application areas are civil engineers. Oh, these are each can be discussed in detail. But what I want again, see, we want to improve our thought process. I want you to learn by examples, learn by giving practical things. Our subject is 100% practical. We want to score 80%, not less than that. Every day I've reminded you, again reminding you. Okay. So I will be asking a question, a very good question after this slide. So application areas are civil engineers, insurance company, a service provider, enterprise configuring internal, external resources to support e-business workload. Yes. Large scale science and engineering are done through interaction of people, heterogeneous computing resources and information system. Now, what I want you to do, I want you to take insurance company as an example. I think insurance is part of your accounting syllabus. Insurance companies you have read. Good. So in insurance company, the whole insurance business is basically life and non-life. So two categories, life and non-life. Then within non-life, there are three broad categories: fire, marine, and other. So for other, you have this health insurance, Mediclaim. Now, what I've basically done, so I've given you hint. What I want me to, okay. So what you need to answer? You need to answer that suppose you are an insurance company creates a grid computing network. What would be the possible areas an insurance company will be researching upon? Like I'm just trying to give you hint. In life insurance, whatever life insurance premium you pay, so it is invested by insurance company. So in assets, so that they can earn, so that whenever need comes, the insurance company can pay off from that earning. So whatever earning you have, they reduce something. Whatever premium you pay, there is a standard deduction to that premium for their investment purpose called as mortality rate. That is one. Then coming to non-life, within non-life, fire. So fire insurance, there's a fire insurance premium. Now, fire insurance premium is one of the businesses for all non-life insurance companies where their profit is good because fire premium, lack of people pay fire premium, only one or two are hit by it. So the claim ratio in fire is reasonably low. So then insurance company, when it wants to decide new premium, it has to process the claim ratio. So what I want you to tell me that by grid computing, what areas insurance company can research into to create supercomputer capability. So what would be that data for an insurance company that will require capability of a supercomputer to analyze it in good manner? I've already given you a lot of hints: life insurance, non-life insurance, within non-life, fire, marine, other insurance, within life, concept of mortality rate, within non-life, in fire, concept of claim ratio. So what those things that insurance company can analyze to take some decision. So you might like to inform two things: the nature of analysis and nature of decision. Try. Let us learn. Let us learn. See, ultimately, whatever you are learning, there has to be an application side. So if I say grid computing, what you are learning is an application side. So you don't learn the application by name, you learn the application by knowledge. So let us put our heads into that and you answer the question: for what purpose insurance company can use grid computing? Let us go ahead. In fact, the next one also, I am following Perseverance, the NASA probe that has gone on Mars. So I think today is 6th, so probably 8th or 10th. That probe is carrying a drone with it, a helicopter with it. So that drone is going to fly on Mars and take photographs. So I'm just keeping a track of it. So large sci-fi engineering research through grid computing. So just give your head to it, how you can use grid computing. Important. So because you did say that lack of confidentiality and privacy risk, security is a key concern whenever we talk of grid computing. So how to keep it secure? So security, now again, this is a addition. In the previous version, the first word was single sign-on. Now the version is secured single sign-on. Secured means a sign-on that is secured. Meghna, great. Meghna is good. So to my question, the e-chocolate for first e-chocolate for today goes to Meghna. She has given a fantastic answer. We'll talk about that, Meghna. So secured single sign-on. Secured. Secured means like a sign-on that is done by sending OTP to your email or your mobile. So additional security. Proper resource management. Proper data management. Management and protection of credentials. Interoperability of the local security solution. Very important. Please understand why this word is so, why these words are important. Just put the definition. See, imagine the example I gave you was, say, 10,000 computers across 100 countries in the world working on 24/7/365. So if you imagine the grid, it is like, there was this old saying we have read, that sun never sets in the empire of British or the British Empire, because they had colonies all across the globe. Like this, grid computing is like all across the globe. It is never going to sleep. So when such a large resource is created, such a large network is created, these things become very, very important. Resource management, data management, protection, interoperability of the security solution. You need some standardization, exportability of data from one location to another, support for secure group communication, support of multiple implementations and applications. So these are very, very important considerations when you start using grid computing. So they are, if you understand the definition well, this will be very easy to understand and extrapolate. Oh, so you have tried to give answer, Ayushi. In the insurance, health lifestyle can be analyzed. Fantastic. I'll elaborate on that. Good. Yes, Henry says, for ratio calculation of the amount to be returned by insurance company. Okay, we wanted a better answer, but let us go ahead with whatever you have given. They are good points. So first, let us read what Meghna says. Actuaries. So actuaries are specialized experts like chartered accountants are. The one accounting standard that has reference to actuaries is Employee Benefit IAS 15. Actuarial method has been defined as an accounting policy in the standard. So what actuaries do? So actuaries calculate your gratuity liability, actuaries calculate your leave encashment liabilities, and there are, I don't know the present number, but it's subject to validation, so I'm not sharing the number. But 10 years back, okay, there were only 250 registered actuaries in India. Of those 250, probably 100 were part of companies. They were employed. There were not more than 100 practicing actuaries 10 years back. But it's a huge, it's a very tough course. There's an Institute of Actuaries in India. They have this actuarial valuation course, which is a real tough course. Yes, DSC is an example of secured single sign-on. Akash, great. So security, we have talked about. Okay, let us go ahead. The topic that I love to talk about, that is cloud computing. This time we never had that time. Last time, I personally preferred this cloud computing to be done through live examples. But then let us go about as it exists. So cloud computing is basically uh, sharing of resources. So that is what clouds are all about, sharing of resources. Let us read what is there. Huge discussion is there in the module on cloud computing. It's going to be a big discussion, and please keep your hearts and minds to that. And we are going to talk a lot on that. And probably I'll be asking a lot of questions also on cloud computing. So let us take the cloud computing as it is there. So introduction. Let me ask a question before we go ahead. So are you all using cloud computing? Say yes or no. Are you all using cloud computing? Say yes or no. So we'll be talking about cloud computing, characteristics, advantages, drawbacks, cloud computing environment, service models, and issues relating to cloud computing. Again, the last point, pertinent issues related to cloud computing, is an addition in the module. So we'll be doing it separate. So what exactly is cloud computing? We first understand that what is cloud. So cloud refers to application, services, data storage on internet. So cloud is basically these things are stored on internet and then other people go and use it. You probably already use cloud computing in some forms. So yeah, Vijay Shankar, I'm explaining that only. So cloud is basically, to me, it's a shared resource. What are the resources? Applications, services, and storage. So that is shared resources. You all probably use cloud computing. So yes, Nandishwaran has already correctly answered that. Yes, sir. Google Drive and OneDrive. Fantastic. So you all know, again, what we are only doing, framing the concept that you all are aware about, framing what you are all practically day in, day out using in your life. So that is cloud computing. Okay. So some form, Google Drive is good example of cloud computing. Cloud computing means using computing resources through network, typically the internet. So that is what cloud computing is about, using resources through internet. In cloud computing, users can access database resource via internet from anywhere or as long as they need. So it is basically like we'll be reading later on. It's basically what they call as a need-based or scalable model. Scalable means you use it for the defined purpose. Cloud computing is both combination of software, hardware, and cloud computer resources are delivered as network services. So now you have, we all use Google Drive, OneDrive, Then Amazon has Amazon Web Services, cloud service they provide. So lot of corporates, and it's a very, very big business where people have entered into. Cloud computing provides facility to access shared resource and common infrastructure also. Cloud computing allows companies to scale up to massive capacities in an instant without having to invest in new infrastructure, train new personnel, or license new software. So that is very important. So cloud, because see, you are not owning that application, you need not invest in the application. You are not owning the application, so you are the storage, so you need not invest in the storage devices. So that is basically scalable model. Scalable means use based. The amount you need, that amount you are going to start using. And the best part is cloud computing is benefit to small and medium sized business because it is based on pay what you use. So the amount that you use, that much only you have to pay for. So that is very important part of cloud computing. I don't know whether ICAI has cloud computing. I don't know. So all exams are tough, and all exams that lead to good result are going to be very tough. That is. The key characteristics are elasticity and scalable. Elasticity means you can change, upgrade, modify. Scalable means need based. Uh, you need not invest in all resources now. You can invest based on your need. Pay per use, on demand. When you demand, then you use. Resiliency. Resiliency means capability to work in extreme situations. Extreme may not be extreme in terms of the physical sense, extreme in terms of say, peak volume, like GST servers on 20th of each month when the return filing pressures are high. Then multi-tenancy. Multi-tenancy means you could have more than one people using that. Workload movement. So all your workload is managed very well. Wide range of network access capability, huge. So I can access same cloud through my laptop, desktop, my tablet, my mobile, and probably those who have these smart watches, you can do it through that also. So that network access, you can access it through all locations. Because I don't know exactly whether Institute has its own cloud, but yes, Institute is using its cloud. It minimizes maintenance and licensing, yes, because you are not buying, you are basically renting. So you need not pay for the licensing, and because you are not paying for the licensing, whatever you get is the best available at that time. So auto upgrades are always there. And next is very, very important, improved flexibility. It's pay per use. The flexibility to change, modify, upgrade is very high. Advantages, okay, exercise for exam. Suppose the question comes, advantages of cloud computing. So I want you to write in the chat how your paragraphs will be looking like. So what you will be writing in para 1, what you will be writing in para 2, what you will be writing in para 3, what you will be writing in para 4. So a simple exercise for exam. Advantages of cloud computing is a question in exam. How you are going to answer the same in exam. So what your para 1 will be, para 2 will be, para 3 will be, para 4 will be. And someone from you may say, I will have only one para. So that will be also accepted. So P1, P2, P3, P4. So I want you to just write one word, two words, para 1, para 2, para 3, para 4. We are reading advantages of cloud computing and exercise to do better in exam. Our target is 80%. I was waiting for this question, Mansha. Keep it with you. We'll be answering that. So achieve economies of scale, reduce spending on technology infrastructure, globalize the workforce. Now, this is very important. Globalize means if I can do an audit through my mobile, that means what? I can do audit at all locations where internet is available. So that is globalization. Geographical spread, that becomes unrestricted. Streamline the business process, reduce the capital cost. Fantastic. Ease of access of information, application, and pervasive, all prevailing. Can access any location, anytime. Very, very critical items to learn about the advantages of cloud computing. Auto backup recovery, it's already on cloud. Monitor projects more effectively because you can take reports, it's because it's documented. Personal training, yes. Less emphasis on personal training needed because you're using an existing cloud, so training can be done directly through that. Maintenance cost is virtually nil. Load balancing, because scalable, elastic, you can balance out, spread out, and you can change as per need. That is improved flexibility. Now, many of you have answered, so let us see. Okay, so Meghna says para one meaning of cloud computing, para two advantages. And we says para one meaning, para two advantages, and para three conclusion. Kiran Kumar says para one. I think some gap, Kiran, but yes. So please understand, in exam, we always have P1, P2, P3. Para one, see, even please understand, you wear the examiner's shoes. Imagine examiner as a layman. Consider that you are teaching a layman. It doesn't mean you write unnecessary stuff, right? Necessary, concise, that is needed. So if the question is advantages of cloud computing, your para one must, you know what, I was waiting for the gap. Yes. So you must define cloud computing in para one, then in para two, advantages, then in para three, like, and we have said, conclusion, or if you have live example. See what why did I ask you? I want you to quote these examples in exam. See, once you start doing by sharing examples, there are two or three good effects of those that I understand. See, doing it by example improves your own learning. So while answering the question, when you start looking through the examples, live examples, your answers are qualitatively good. Your explanations are good. First. Second, when you give examples, that creates that impression that you have understood. And 80% we want. So probably it may add to your marks in exam also. Okay, so Akash has a query. Reduce capital cost related to storage data cost. No. See, please understand, you have merged two issues, Akash. Cloud, when we started, what I said was clouds are shared resources first. Now, so shared means what? So applications can be shared, network can be shared, storage can be shared. So when I say Amazon Web Services, what, or Google, what they are having shared storage. So they have what, tera, peta, I don't know what more to define the storage, so but I know up to tera and petabytes. So petabytes, thousands and lakhs and crores of petabytes storage they have. They own it. What you take, 15 GB for a standard Gmail account, 100 GB for the first slab of payment. So the storage is owned by Google. You are paying rent to access that. That probably answers your question. Reduce capital cost means now I am not creating huge cost by buying those storage servers. No, I am only paying rent to the owner of that storage. So that is how you compare the two words. This is important. Internet connectivity is necessary, but as we have talked earlier also, as we go ahead, as technology go ahead, the availability of internet is increasing. So that disadvantage is going off, but still There could be blackout, there could be internet blackout, there could be blackout, not necessarily through man-made reasons, it could be natural reasons. Every time you must read, there is something called as a sun flare. The sun emits lot of radiations. So that also affects the internet network across the world because our networks are connected to satellites, and so that communication is it. So internet is a major concern. It is improving, but it will always remain a concern because never it is going to happen that you will have 100% internet without any downtime. So that is going to be a concern. Security is a big concern. So because security is a concern, we need to have secured cloud computing environment. That is very important. It supports scalability. Scalability means based on the need, you can go up. It does not permit the control of those resources as these are not owned. So you and we don't own Google, but we use it. So we are not owned. So that ownership related decision making is not going to come to you and me. Depending on the cloud vendor, customers may have restrictions based on the availability of application. Okay, but then that is a choice you take. Interoperability is an issue. So from one cloud service provider, you want to move to another cloud service provider. So that is interoperability. It may be an issue when you are trying to take that decision. Okay. Again, before we go ahead, answer the question. I'm not reading the slide. The Gmail cloud you use, it's a private cloud, public cloud, hybrid, or community. The Gmail cloud that we all use, it's private, public, hybrid, or community. The Gmail cloud or the Google cloud that we use. Let us go ahead. So the cloud computing environment consists of multiple types of clouds based on their deployment and usage. Such typical cloud computing environment are catering to special requirement. It includes private, public, hybrid, and community cloud. Okay, Ramapal has given me a correction that Param was made in 90s. My understanding was 70s. Thanks for that. I learned that. Thank you. You can always be students, and students can always improve upon. Thanks a lot. Private cloud. Very, very important discussion. Please put yourself into it. Important for the academic part, important for the exam part, and important for the practice part. And just sharing one word. Once you become chartered accountant, you are going to have your own business. You are going, one of few of you will practice, few of you will doing service. Whatever you do, the period when you be there, see, cloud computing is a day in, day out reality. Please understand that all of businesses, service providers need to move on cloud. Those who are not still not on cloud environment, they are losing a lot. So private cloud, let us go ahead. So introduction. So I'll be reading from the module itself, few lines on each of this. So private clouds are which are owned by organizations, which are ownership is with the organization themselves. These cloud comprise environment residing within the boundaries of an organization and used exclusively for the organization's benefit. These are also called as internal clouds or corporate clouds. So these are private clouds. Private clouds can either be private to an organization or managed by organization on their premise, or it can be managed by a third party. But whoever manages, private is my own. The key characteristics are they are secure because it is mine, my system, my premise, central control. I own it, so centrally controlled. Big service level agreement. Yes, see what happens. There is a concept of complacency because the private cloud is my own. So the service giver, department or the head, because he or she is internal, so that intensity doesn't come of the service delivery because within the organization, and we know within the organization there are a lot of things that are not good. So, but that affects the service. So when you say big service level agreement, an inherent concept is that big service delivery. So that is the issue. Advantages of private cloud being the server utilization allow usage of low cost servers because it is internal. Provides high level of security, a key advantage. It is small and controlled and maintained within the organization. So that is there. And there is some limitation to private cloud. That is that IT teams in organization have to invest in buying buildings. So it may be costly because the resources have to be created. Hardware have to be bought. So compared to public cloud, private is going to be costly. Private cloud. Introduction, characteristics, and advantages. So private cloud, so the Google cloud that I asked was public cloud. So Manisha says public, Kumar says private. It's public cloud. And Nandishwaran does the diplomatic answer may be. So you are all good diplomats also. Many of you are answering like that. Public cloud is a cloud infrastructure that is provided for provisioned for open use by the general public. It may be owned, managed, operated by business, academy, or government organization. So where public has access, it basically becomes a public cloud. Characteristics, highly scalable. So you can, based on the need, you can scale it up. Affordable, because you're not creating resources. So compared to private cloud, public becomes affordable. Cost of private cloud will be higher compared to public cloud for small organizations. Less secure. Why? Because they are public. Highly available. The downtime is not going to be there. Gmail will not have downtime as a concept. Stringent SLA. Service level agreement should be tough because a public service is being used. So that can enforce quality of deliverable. Advantages. It is widely used in development, deployment, and management of enterprise application. I've given an example of lot of companies use AWS, and there are many such cloud service providers, Google, Gmail, OneDrive. It allows organizations to deliver highly scalable and reliable applications. So scalability and reliability is built into it. There is no need for establishing infrastructure for setting up. So you need not create that. Strict service level agreements are there. There is no limit to number of users. And in this advantages, a point has been added. Addition in the new module. Private clouds can integrate well with public cloud can integrate well with private cloud. Yes, public you can integrate with private well. Reverse is not there. So that is another advantage of public cloud. And hybrid cloud. So I'll not be reading this, which has characteristics of both. I'll just let me read the definition only. This is combination of both, at least one private and one public cloud computing environment, usually consisting of infrastructure, platforms, and application. The usual method of using the hybrid cloud is to have private cloud initially, and then for additional resources going for public cloud. So private, public, and characteristics and advantages you merge, so you'll get both. So I'm not reading them. So that is taken well care of. I just read advantages for hybrid so that we can learn. It is merging of the two. It is highly scalable and gives power of both private and public. It provides better security than public cloud. So the security aspect of public cloud is set right in the hybrid cloud. And last, before we take the tea break, is community clouds. So community clouds are exclusively for community, like there could be community cloud for Pinnacle as a user, Tally as a user. Community means for dedicated nature of purposes, dedicated nature of individuals. Is a cloud infrastructure that is provisioned for exclusive use for specific community. Advantages are, characteristics, collaborative, distributive maintenance, partially secure, cost effective, and the advantages are it allows establishing low cost private then. The limitation of community cloud is that autonomy of the organization is lost because this is community, you cannot control it. So of the four clouds, for private, public, hybrid, and community, which was the most secure, before we take the tea break, two questions. private, public, hybrid, and community. Which was the most secure? Most secure. And which was the least secure? That will help us understand. Most secure and least secure. You can say most secure is this, least secure is this. Okay, hospitals may be using community cloud, I'll agree. So Ayushi has said correctly, private is most secure. The second question was least secure. Private is secure. Kiran, good. Okay, so the least secured answer is public cloud. So let us have our break. We'll take this post break. 1917 is there. So we'll assemble at 19.22. So we are having a 5 minutes break. So back after a very important needed break. Okay. So more of you have answered the question. So generally you have said, all of you have said correctly. Let me just read. Private is secured. Public is least secured. No, hybrid because it will have characteristics of public also. So the security level is going to be low. That is Adit. Then Ramkumar, private most, public least. Vijay, private most, secure, public least. Shobha, private is most secured. Meghna, private most, public least. Smita, most secured is private. Least secured is public. NV, private cloud is most secure. Least secure is no public. Community will have security built due to community. Then Ayushi says public, that I understand is the least secured. Nandishwaram, most secured is private. Least secured is community, no, public. Akash, private, most secured. Public is least secured, that is Prerna. Vimitha, private, most, and public least. Mansha. Okay. So Mansha has a question. VPN is a hybrid cloud? No. Mansha, VPN is a concept. So if it is part of the syllabus, I'll explain it. It requires some discussion. So if it is part of the syllabus, I'll explain, or if you find time, then I'll tell you at the end of the lecture. Just ping me at the end of the lecture, I'll explain that. Good to understand. Public is least secured, that's the Akash. So let us go ahead. The next heading is the cloud computing service model. So service model means what resources are being delivered on cloud computing. Okay. So IaaS, that is infrastructure as a service. PaaS, that is platform as a service, that is the OS we are talking about. SaaS, software as a service. And now these three are the basic cloud services, service model which came, but now it has evolved into many offshoots, multiple applications on cloud. So there are other cloud service models which have also come up. Let us take them one by one. The other cloud service models are communication as a service, data as a service, security as a service, identity as a service. Then this pertinent issue is an addition. We'll be taking this separately. Let us first learn the definitions of these service model. It's a very detailed discussion in the module. Let us see how much we can get through that. So what I'll be doing, I'll be reading the basic definitions of this. So first is infrastructure as a service. So what it means, and then within this also there are multiple application or service models, subsets within this, so that I'll be reading the names only. Okay. A hardware level service level provides computing resources such as, now this is important, power, memory, storage, and network for cloud users to run their applications. So infrastructure will be all other than applications provided on demand. All is provided on demand. In fact, that will be available on demand is a word common to all service models. This allows users to maximize the utilization of computing capacities without having to invest or manage their own resources. Characteristics of IaaS includes web access, centralized management, elasticity and dynamic scaling that we have talked about, shared infrastructure, because it's basically sharing infrastructure, and metered services. Metered means if you are using IaaS, then you are going to be billed for the use, the number of usage or number of period based on whatever is your service level agreement, that much billing will be done to you. Within IaaS, now there are subset of service models. I am reading the names of network as a service, storage as a service, database as a service, backend as a service, and desktop as a service. So within infrastructure as a service, these are further subsets which have come up. Okay. Then next is platform as a service. So I've read this word from the module. Any word you feel need definition from me, please ping me on the chat. I'll explain them. So first we have read infrastructure as a service, its characteristics and subset of services within infrastructure as a service. Next is platform as a service, PaaS. So we all need to get this in exam, pass, PaaS, with 80% marks. Okay, let us go ahead. PaaS provides the users the ability to develop and deploy an application on development platform provided by the service provider. Let me read one more line. In traditional application development, the application will be developed locally and hosted on central location. So here, what is happening? The application that you are developing is being hosted on a platform. Platform is, for ease of understanding, let me give platform name like an operating system. So your application is being hosted on a shared OS. So you need not bear the cost of that shared OS like that. I'll explain Harsh that again. Once I complete the slide, I'll come back to your question. Harsh is asked to explain IaaS again. I'll do that. Thank you. Traditional PaaS may provide programming language, application framework, databases, and testing tools apart from build tools. Build tools are system development tools, deployment tools, and software load balances as a service. Software load balances, again, these are basically software developer. So if you look to PaaS, it's more catering to the developers who are application developers. That is PaaS. And if just for the sake of it, we all need to know of the names listed on the slide, which is finding the maximum coverage, usage, application. That is the third one, that is software as a service. It has grown like anything. SaaS. Let us go ahead. SaaS provides ability to the end users to access the application over internet that is hosted and managed by the service provider. Thus, end users are exempted from managing, controlling an application, development platform, and the underlying infrastructure. So you own nothing, you only use everything. That is basically the rented model of software being done. For example, one can make his or her own Word document on Google Docs online. She can edit photos online. So these are all services which are available on SaaS. Again, within SaaS, there are subsets, additional service model, which include testing as a service. Some time back, we had I want to share this because see, you are young. It's like catching you young. So I'm sharing this from some experience we had. Like all income tax returns are done through software. Now department has its own utilities there. So some time back, we did a functional testing of a taxation software. I want to share that case. You'll love that case. So we did a functional testing of a taxation software. What is functional testing? Functional testing is to see whether the taxation software is calculating tax exemptions as per the provisions of the Income Tax Act. There could be basically two types of testing, the technical testing and functional testing. Functional is the function of the software. So we validated the functionality of the software. So what we did, we created 500 computation process on the taxation software. The result of the computations as generated from the taxation software was compared to the result as calculated manually. We compared the two to find whether the taxation software is working properly or not. So we found number of errors. I'm sharing two only with you. We found that the taxation software was not calculating interest under section 234B of the income tax correctly, and it was not you. Now, in the second one, you mentioned the section of the income tax. It was not calculating arrears of salary correctly. So that is a professional opportunity I'm sharing with you. Once you become, it's a big opportunity. Recently, I met a chartered accountant. He is working in a big company in Mumbai, and that company's core business is providing testing services to large implementations. This implementations in big public sector bank, and the ticket size of each client is huge. So it's a big practice, it's an opportunity that you can go. It's a career opportunity that is there, and that has been given as a subset of SaaS. What is the subset? Testing as a service. So that subset has been given, testing as a service. API as a service. API allows user to explore functionality of web servers such as Google Maps, payroll processing, and credit card processing services. So how it is doing? Email as a service provides users with integrated system of emailing, office automation records. So that is testing as a service. And we have the next chocolate goes to Kiran Kumar because he has given the answer to the technique we used for validating the functionality of the testing software. That is re-performance. That is SA500, an audit technique, re-performance. Great, Kiran. So there are two e-chocolates today. Now coming to Harsh's question, IaaS, infrastructure as a service. So I am defining the same again. I am reading the basic definition. IaaS, a hardware level service, provides computing resources such as processing power, memory, and storage network for cloud users to run their applications. So what is being provided? The basic hardcore things are provided. You run your application on this hardcore thing. So this infrastructure is what is being shared in a service mode. I think it's virtual class cloud. So it's SaaS. Okay. So that is, then let us go to the next part of the slide. Cloud computing had to be a detailed discussion, very important for practical usage, very important once you all become young chartered accountants. Then other cloud service models. So they include CaaS, DaaS, SECaaS, and IDaaS. So just you need to have some way of remembering the short form. I don't have better way rather than reading it like this. So let us read communication as a service. It is, I'll just read definition line. It is an outsourced enterprise communication solution that can be leased from a single vendor. The CaaS vendor is responsible for all hardware and software management and offers guaranteed quality of service delivery. It allows the businesses to selectively deploy communication devices and moves on pay-as-you-go basis. One of the good examples is where you use VoIP, Voice over Internet Protocol, IM Internet Instant Messaging. So you can use CaaS. In fact, no, RAM. Okay, let me think, Akash. No, RAM can. See, RAM can be part of the service provider system. RAM itself is not IaaS. No. I have answered the question. RAM is not an IaaS. It can be part of the implementer's hardcore system. Okay. The DaaS, data as a service, provides data on demand to diverse set of users, systems, or application. The data may include text, image, sound, and video. Like go to websites, or in fact, in newspapers also, they have photos. So now, what you find that just at the right bottom of the photo or left bottom, somewhere in the photo, they mark the source of the photo. That becomes data as a service. It has become a big opportunity. Slide share, you must be knowing. So people have made big business. That see how businesses are evolving. Security as a service. WhatsApp can be CWS. Let me process that, Akash. Let me think. Security as a service. It is an ability given to the end user to access the security service provided by the service provider on pay per use basis. So that is then identity as a service. It is an ability given to the end users, typically an organization or enterprise, to access authentication infrastructure that is built, hosted, managed by third-party service provider. Yes, this is again growing identity management. So pertinent issues means those issues that you must consider before you ship yourself on cloud platform. That is. Then next is mobile computing. Software development in cloud and bugs in large scale distributed systems. This is again pertinent. Sorry, I missed these 2 points. So let us read pertinent issue. Threshold policy, interoperability, hidden cost, unexpected behavior, security issues, legal issue, software development in cloud, and their large scale systems, and those systems have some non-performance or bugs hidden, then that is going to be a huge hit for the organization. That brings us to the next very important topic, that is mobile computing. And please understand, from today onwards, whatever you think, imagine, means most of us, I don't know, I did ask this question probably in the previous class also, that how many of you are taking this lecture on laptop and how many of you are taking this lecture on mobile. But mobile has become the in thing, smartphones. All as a student, all your online activities, suppose let me ask this a question to you. Of all the, say suppose you expend 10 hours in a day in front of the screen, so that how many hours is on mobile? So you can say in percentage that 60% times the screen is mobile, 40% the time the screen is desktop or laptop. So you can say in percentages how many times in a day or what percentage of your screen time in a day is a mobile screen and what percentage it is laptop or desktop. That will tell you the intensity with which mobile technology has come. Okay, so Henry has put, okay, nothing. IDS, after that, we talked about this pertinent issues. Pertinent issues means issues to consider when you are going for cloud computing. Again, these are addition in the module. These are updates in the module. Pertinent means must remember before you shift to cloud. That is. So going to mobile computing, my question to all of us was that when you are using screen in a day, what percentage of your day's time is on mobile screen and what percentage of your day's time is on laptop desktop? That is. So mobile computing, so Vijay has put it 80 mobile, 20 laptop. Yes, so I think principally most of us will fall in that category. We are all falling in that category. We all need to be aware about the level mobile has come into our life, and please try to learn practical applications to mobile, means like developing mobile apps. So it can be done. So start learning that. It is going to help you one day. Okay. So introduction. So introduction, I'll read from the module. Refers to technology that allow transmission of data via computer without connected to physical link, and that device is your mobile computer. The components to that is mobile communication, mobile hardware, and mobile software. So that is how it looks like. The working, so I'm not sharing the working. The benefits, let us read them. It provides remote access, remote working. It enables mobile sales personnel to collect order. Yes, it has revolutionized the FMCG business, mobile technology. In fact, if you have seen this large companies, sales representative, they go to retailers. So now they don't take those order books. They take their mobile phone on which the company login is there. The retailer details are there. They directly take the order on the mobile. They upload that order directly on the mobile at the retailer shop. Data goes to the central server immediately in 1 minute. The details are sent back. Pro forma or tentative invoice is sent. Tentative delivery dates are sent. If any payment of retailer is pending before acceptance of the order to be made, or any advance payment has to be collected, the payment is collected. Everything has been made on system. Benefits we have talked about. Then few limitations. Ramkumar is 15% mobile and 85% laptop. But by the time Ram, you become a chartered accountant, reverse the percentage because mobile is the in technology. So it is automatically going to change. We already have e-invoice, GSTs have to be every e-invoice has to have a QR code printed on the invoice. That QR code is readable by mobile app. Presently, the QR code allows you to read the GST number of the vendor and few validation information, not the whole invoice. But as time goes ahead, the QR code probably will have all invoice details. So only a QR code will be sent, no invoice will be sent. So from the vendor, he is going to WhatsApp you the QR code. You will have an app on the mobile. You will read the QR code. Your accounting data will be updated. So it is technology is changing things like anything. Limitations. Insufficient bandwidth. So we agree to that. Security standards. Power consumption increases. Transmission interference may be there, like sometimes we have in this call. Potential health hazard. It's a research subject, but yes, it can be a health hazard. Human interface with the device is very high. So these are about mobile computing. Next is green technology. So green technology, we understand reducing carbon footprint. In fact, the virtual classes is a fantastic example of green technology. We are at home, not traveling, not consuming fuel, green technology. So there have to be best practices for creating green technology. Government regulations require green technology to have best practices that include develop sustainable computing technology. In fact, the town I come from, our municipal corporation collects door-to-door waste, and within that, the waste collection van, it goes to every single house in our city. Okay. And in the door collection van, there is a separate bin for this e-waste, like your mobiles, hard drives, laptops, keyboards, mouse, cables you have to throw. There is a separate bin for that. So that is recycling is a big business, and it's an environment friendly thing, and make environment friendly sound purchase decisions. So you can purchase those products which may not be plastic based or they are biodegradable plastic. Of course, cost is an issue, but awareness is increasing slightly. So we are moving towards that. Then reduce paper consumption. That is why online things, online audit. Now we are in bank audit season, so doing online bank audits. These are all things which are green technology. So members are also contributing to the green initiatives. Conserving energy by using energy efficient lighting. Like the room I am, there are all LED lights. We don't have those choke based lights. So these are reducing the energy consumption. Then there are security and challenges relating to green technology, which includes solution providers may give away to security. What to look in green service providers, the challenges in the security services market. how security fair in decision. So using green technology may create a security concern. So it has to be done very ethically and properly. Then BYOD, that is bring your own device. BYOD is allowing him. So let me define and then I'll ask a question. When I say BYOD, what is the key risk? BYOD means employees do their office work on their own mobiles or on their own laptops that they carry. So it is BYOD, bring your own device. So companies don't provide laptops to their staff, but allow laptops to work on their own allow employees to work on their own laptops. So that is BYOD. So bringing your own device. So my question to you is, what is one great BYOD risk? Advantages of BYOD: happy employees because they are working on their own system. Comfort is there. Low IIT budget. Company need not invest more in infrastructure, hardware, because the hardware is not yours. The support is not that much, reduces the support cost. New technologies can be adopted fast, and employee efficiency has to increase. In fact, I just learned few days back that there are few big corporates which give a BYOD allowance to the employee. So if an employee, he or she is bringing his or her laptop, so he or she gets an incentive against that because laptop is being depreciated. So some nominal allowance is also being provided by the companies to their employees. The risk is network risk, device risk, application and implementation, and security is part of all this. Data risk. Yes. Thank you, Kiran. Then Web 3. So what is Web 3? I'll just define that. Web 3, also known as semantic. Semantic means logic. Describes sites wherein the computers will be generated raw data on their own without direct user interaction. Web 3 is considered as the next logical step in evolution of internet and web technologies. Initial internet is confined within physical walls, but now it is open. The basic concept within Web 3 is Web 3 standard uses semantic web technology, drag, drop, mashups. You bring things, get understanding out of it. Widgets, user behavior tracking, these are all part of Web 3. Components of Web 3 include semantic web, that is the logics, and the web services. And a part has been added in this module, in the new module that is called as new concept. Web 4 has come up that we call as intelligent web. So that is improving the Web 3 version. I usually employee can use entity data. Yes, so we will say employee can misuse entity data. That is a risk. Okay. Then IoT. So I'll just take a second to see if that device is working. Then I'll show you live. So Internet of Things. So what is Internet of Things? Internet of Things is basically where your electrical devices are there and they are connected to network, and then you can operate through mobile. So right now it's not showing connected. Just give me a second. So that they call as IoT. Yeah, it's not working. So let us skip that. I would love to show you that. So in the previous class, I did it. Now, IoT is what? So the electrical, we already have big AI. Yes, it's based on AI, artificial intelligence. And because Web 3 has been multiplied by AI, so now we have Web 4. The result is Web 4.0. IoT definition is where your electrical home devices have Wi-Fi connectivity, and then you are able to connect through Wi-Fi and then operate through the mobile phones. Many celebrities from the sports world, from the acting world, are giving advertisement on TV. This AC is operatable on mobile. The television is operatable on mobile. Your washing machine is operatable on mobile. Your this water purifiers are operatable on mobile. Your refrigerator fridges are operatable on mobile. Your microwave ovens are operatable on mobile. Now see what is happening. So this is the definition. My electrical devices are Wi-Fi enabled. I connect to my home office Wi-Fi and then download the requisite app on my mobile, and I can switch on, switch off those devices through my mobile. That is IoT, Internet of Things. It's the in technology. It is already in our houses. We are already using it. The future is huge. The graph is there. I'll show you that graph. It's not there, but the future is huge, immense future of IoT as we go ahead. Yeah, it's given in the module. That value is by 2020. So we are already into 2020. US dollar 2 trillion, huge amount. The conversion is also given in the module. So the future is immense of IoT. The application sites, huge. I've said with examples, so I'm not reading them. The risk is big. The risk is that if someone gains access to your mobile and your mobile has your home security, then he or she can enter into your home. So that risk is huge, and application sites are immense. Then AI, artificial intelligence. So AI systems, definition, intelligence is capability of analyzing situations, making rules, and making sure to follow the made rules. So one of the many movies based on AI. One of the good movies I suggest is I, Robot. It is by it's on novel by Isaac Asimov, and Will Smith is the key player in the movie. It does come many times on satellite television. So I, Robot. Do watch the movie to have a feeling of AI, artificial intelligence. You must have watched many other movies. The point is that AI is what? So it's basically machines start acting like decision-making bodies. So you call them as artificial intelligence machines. Applications, numerous applications, including self-driving cars, medical diagnosis, Alexa, good example, Siri in Apple, they are all good examples of artificial intelligence machine. The risk is important to know. AI relies very heavily on data. So incorrect data can lead to disasters. Robots carry security threats. AI in iRobot you go. So it shows it's basically a future-oriented movie, but it does tell the risk that is associated with AI. That if robots start thinking that they own the earth, then they may start killing the humans. So that risk, it's a real risk. Please understand that this is not science fiction. It's a real risk. Such events have happened, which have forced mankind to think whether to create robots which are AI enabled. That is why the next word is very important, controls on AI technology. Very, very important. Okay. Set of controls in AI are important to build into them. Last topic for the chapter, machine learning. Definitions. So I'll read the definition. Machine learning is a type of AI that provides computers with the ability to learn without being explicitly programmed. So what is happening? Machine learning is the computer is learning and making decisions and becoming extra in Tesla car. Yes, extra intelligent based on that. That is machine learning. Then in the new module, there are illustrations added. 2 illustrations have been added. I'll request you to please go through the illustration at the end of chapter 4. They are very good illustrations have been. So this takes care of chapter 4. They're having a 1-minute break. Help you recoup, help you ask any question on chapter 4. We'll start after 1 minute. So we are back. We want to go to chapter 5, but there are questions. Uh, Harsh, you have said correctly, but what you need to say is the okay. IBM created a machine. I'm just if I say Gary Kasparov, you'll recall the chess world champion, the previous Russian. So he had a. I just missed the deep blue or deep thinking like that. Name of the machine I'm missing. So it was a basically a supercomputer, and they had a match. The first match between Gary Kasparov and supercomputer 1 trillion instruction per second. So that supercomputer had capability of, based on a move by the opposite player, Gary could create 1 billion future combinations. Imagine the first match was not won by the computer, it was won by Gary Kasparov. That level of intelligence humans have. See, because computer can be programmed in specific manner. Now, why I've said this, I wanted to answer this question by Harsh. See, that was an event at least 50, 20 years back. But now the computers have been made as machines which can learn based on the opponent's behavior. So suppose we have the same match today, the chances are that the machine may win. So chess per se is not machine learning. Chess may be part of a computer that may machine learn and defeat the opponent sitting in front of the computer. That is deep blue. Yeah, Kiran. Thank you. Deep blue. Yes. No, no. CBS is today. Okay. So the break to recoup recall. I wanted to have a sip of water. Like that. So let us start chapter 5. That is core banking solution, core banking system. It's a very intense chapter. There has to be a specific methodology of reading the chapter. But again, see, of all the 5 chapters, this is one chapter that you have been using practically day in, day out. You are going to the bank, deposit check, deposit stipend of the articleship, withdraw money from the ATM, making net banking, paying institutes exam fees online. So you know virtually each aspect of the chapter. What shall be our consideration? Our consideration will be trying to help all of us understand the backend processes first. Second, trying to learn the control aspects of the backend processes. Third, trying to get a understanding, broad understanding, not a deep understanding of architecture of the banking system, the core banking system, the way it operates. So that shall be the core of our discussion in chapter 5. Again, chapter has been written in a specific manner. So we'll be trying to read the chapter in same manner. Let us go ahead. This is one chapter where you have your practical experiences, good, bad, in terms of system. You can always share those. I'll allow you to share. Like you withdraw money from the ATM and your account was debited, but cash not given to you. All those things of example we'll be talking about. So we'll start with the diagram that is in the module for this chapter. That is chapter 5. So here is chapter 5. The diagram. Probably you all have this with you. So this is a very good diagrammatic representation of the whole chapter itself. So we have components, architectures, working of CBS, the risk, banking services, business process flows, analytics, BI, regulatory framework, and then topics within that. So this diagram is a very good representation of the chapter. Again, for a quick recall, 80% we need to score. Now, of all the chapters, we have shared practical example. In this chapter, you yourself is practical example. I am practical example because we are all using that. So we know it much more, much better. Let us go ahead. Now see what has happened. So this chapter has a manner, the way it has been made. So what I've tried to do, break the whole chapter in components so that when we read a component, we are focused on that. So I divided the whole chapter in five. Same way it is here given. Main topic one, that is overview of the banking services, related risk and controls. Main topic two, component and architecture. Main topic three, core banking system risk, security and control. Main topic four, reporting system, MIS, data analytics and BI. Now see, BI has come in chapter one, BI has come in chapter four, and business intelligence and data analytics. This part of chapter five also. So remember, again, once you become chartered accountant, this is one field that is always going to carry huge scope for all of you to get it. Data analytics and business intelligence. So this is five components. Then within this main topic, there are topics. So main topic one, we have the introduction, overview of the banking services, overview of the core banking services, and core feature of core banking system. Within main topic two, you have topics, technology component of core banking system and IT environment, functional architecture, internet banking process, e-commerce transaction processing, case study on core banking system, implementation, deployment, and implementation of core banking system. Within topic three, CBS risk, security control, risk associated, policy and controls in banking system. Core topic is a single heading, reporting system, MIS, data analytics, and BI. There is a lot in this topic. Much more can be learned, but we'll find time if we have. Applicability, regulatory, and compliance requirement. Main topic 5. Impact of technology in banking. We all are facing it. Money laundering. This is a very important part. Cybercrime and Banking Regulation Act. So this is how this whole chapter we are going to go through. So I've created some parts and components so that when we discuss, so we are clear where we are going. So this chapter has been written in a very specific manner. So we have the main topic and topic. So we have at the start we have talked about the main topic and the topic. Then within that you will have subtopic and part of subtopic and points to parts of subtopic. So I've tried to make sure that our learning is good. So I've tried to bring it in the same manner. Some effort you will require to learn this, but then we can all do that. So we need to keep track and we shall use legends to remember. So I've marked them MT1, topic 1 like that. Let us go ahead. So first, overview of banking services and related IT risk and control. So introduction. So now this is simple. Technology is integral part of every function of banking enterprise, any enterprise. In case of bank, deals with money. Now it has become increasingly digital and plays a vital role. Banking is the engine of economic growth, specifically in a rapidly developing country like ours. And banking operations have changed fundamentally over the last 25 years. In previous lectures, I did tell you that the bank, I have my saving bank account. Rarely I need to go to the bank. I just do not go to my bank. Once in a year visit like that. So that is how banking has evolved. In fact, there's one more word I wish to share with you. I'm saying a word, you say whether you know it or not, because that is the next banking revolution that is coming. Okay, so the word is banking correspondent, BC. Banking correspondent. You say yes or no. BC, you say whether you know it or you not know. Yes for knowing, no for not knowing. When you say I'll explain, it's fundamentally good to know how future is being framed. Okay. So information technology has fundamentally revolutionize the banking, the way we do it. And this COVID Corona has put lot of force, brought force, speed, volume to digitization. Means we have all seen WhatsApp, the people selling small snacks, or the anyone who is from Surat. So there is a very famous Laria Bhajiawala at Dumas Beach. So that Bhajiawala now accepts payment on Paytm. So all those small your fruit vendors, vegetable vendors accept payment through payment wallets. So digitization has been revolutionized. Digital transfer of funds is revolutionizing the economy. COVID Corona lockdown has enforced it, and it is improving day by day. So Vijay has said that we don't know banking correspondent. So let me bring the parameters. See, because that is the next banking revolution. It is in making. You know, this government of India had Prime Minister's Jan Dhan Yojana. Within that, the bank accounts were opened. So roughly, I may be subject to some correction, but any figure between 25 crore to 35 crore Jan Dhan accounts have been opened. Now, these accounts have been opened. The purpose, government has its own understanding, but the key purpose for which these bank accounts are used is to transfer the subsidy. So government of India has been transferring subsidy to these beneficiary Jan Dhan accounts, and now they call it as DBT, direct benefit transfer. The idea that subsidy is going to be transferred directly to the beneficiary's account has killed more than 50% corruption in subsidy transfer, because now it is going directly to the user, the beneficiary. But there was a problem. Problem was, now because government has made mandate that subsidy will be transferred to bank account, so you need to have a Jan Dhan bank account or any bank account for that matter. Now those bank accounts have been opened. The problem is, say for example, the subsidy amount is say 1,000 rupees per month, or pension 1,000 rupees per month. That is transferred to the recipient of the pension. That person lives in a very remote area. In the remote area, there is no bank. So if that person wants cash, the individual has to travel to a village or a small town where the ATM is there, where he or the bank is there, where he can withdraw cash. Now the traveling cost from his remote village to that town or small village where there is an ATM or a bank branch will be so substantial that the incentive to travel will not be there. For withdrawing 500 rupees, I am expending 100 rupees. That is a non-viable project. So what had been done, this concept of banking correspondent had been there since last 10 years. Now it is being popularized. What government has done, you know, Department of Post, 1,50,000 postmen. Now we don't send letters, we send emails. We don't send emails also. Now we send WhatsApp messages to concerned people. So now letters are not there. So department has lost a lot of business. So what government has did, they allowed all Department of postmen, women to become BCs, banking correspondent. 1,50,000 banking correspondents created. Banks could have their own BCs. What they will do? So these banking correspondents have biometric enabled POS, biometric, those point of sale terminals, those swipe machines. They, to what I know best now, they have been allowed to do 10,000 rupees transaction per day. So what these people will do, those BCs, banking correspondent, they will travel on their bicycle or cycle or motorcycle and go to those villages where that person who has received 1,000 rupees pension is residing. They will go to his house. That point of sale terminal is a biometric enabled machine. On that machine, the person is going to put his or her fingerprint. That fingerprint is connected, that machine is connected to the central server of the bank. It will be validated. The validation will come to the POS machine. As soon as the validation comes, say for example, that person wants to withdraw 500 rupees. So 500 rupees will be provided by the VC to the individual. A printout will be generated, that will be charge slip, that will be account debit credit amount. Banking correspondence. the next banking revolution. Imagine the way banking is going to change. So, see, this is how technology is being used to create revolution. That is how it is going to work. Let us go ahead. So I intentionally brought it because this is the next banking thing that is going to multiply in leaps and bounds in the coming future. So main topic, then within that topic, overview of banking services, and within that topic, subtopics. So I'm not going to elaborate these subtopics. You all know it. If you don't know it, please let me know. I'll just run them fast. Okay. Acceptance of deposits, granting of advances, remittances, collections, clearing, LCs, letter of credits, letter of guarantee. So I always ask this question to all students. Letter of credits, they are generally 3 or 4 parties. The writer of letter of credit, the writer's bank, the beneficiary of letter of credit, beneficiary's bank. So there is a buyer and a seller, a buyer's bank and a seller's bank. Who is the author of letter of credit? The buyer is the author or the seller is the author? So my question is, who authors letter of credit? Who initiates? Okay, buyer or seller? Then letter of guarantee, credit cards, debit cards, other banking services. In fact, now your concept of bank assurance, each banking company or each bank has their own insurance company. Few bank have a non-life and a life insurance company also. So other banking services are coming up. I'm not reading them, you know, but I'll be asking questions. So on acceptance of deposit, there is a concept of saving come term deposit. So what is saving come term deposit? Saving deposit come term deposit. You define. So deposit, I'm not reading. Second, granting of advances. So it's a bank audit season. Most of the chartered accountants will be traveling for bank audit. So if a chartered accountant spends 10 days, 20 days in doing a bank branch audit, more than 60-70% of the time, the chartered accountant and his or her team gives to audit on one area is advances. Because that is the money that has been given to people. So this need to be audited well. So types of advances. So good. So Shama, so, Shama gets the third e-chocolate. So see, many times we make the mistake. So it's buyer. So buyer's bank will only do on the request of the buyer. So basic author is buyer. Okay. The author is buyer. Then, so now next question on this slide, cash. So what I'll be asking, so my basic question is standard question. My question is security. The bank is giving advances, loans. So I want you to identify security. So I'll be asking question, then you tell me that this advance is secured on what? Okay. So you have to answer cash credit is secured on what asset of the borrower? Sorry, cash credit is secured on what asset of the buyer? Term loans, so 2 questions. Cash credit is secured on what asset of the buyer? Term loans is secured on what asset of the buyer? So you have to say CC, the name of the security, term loan, the name of the security. Buyer initiates with yes. First, sweep account, yes, good. Any excess automatically gets transferred to a fixed deposit account. Great, Harsh. So, 2 questions. Security. So, cash credit, what is the security of the borrower? Term loan, what is the security? So, I'm not defining cash credit term loan. You answer, then I'll define. Then overdrafts. So, overdrafts are like bank allows you to withdraw money beyond a limit. So what is that limit? That limit could be, suppose you have an FD with the bank. So 1 lakh rupees FD, bank may allow you to withdraw against that. So that is OD facility. Per se, OD will not have a direct security, but associated collateral built into it. Purchase discounting of bills, yes, big business. Term loans you are answering. Commercial papers, these are large corporate borrowers and lenders deal through bank by issuing or subscribing to commercial papers issued. ECB, external commercial borrowing, then you have KCC, Kisan credit cards, and Pradhan Mantri's Mudra Yojana, which lot of advances have been given. I have not defined cash credit and term loan. I'm waiting for you to answer. Let us go ahead. Then remittances. So I have got answers before I'm coming back to your answers. So then I need to define. So see, cash credit loans are basically working capital finance. They are given on the security of stock and or security of debtors. Have I defined it clearly? Cash credits are basically working capital finance. They are given on security of stock or and or debtors. And term loans are given on security of any asset. So there is an underlying asset against which that term loan is issued. Okay. Then remittances. So again, I am not reading TDs, telegraphic transfer, mail transfers. Generally, now you are not using this. These are old methods. Now you have new modes, electronic fund transfer, what we call as RTGS, real-time gross settlement, NEFT, new electronic fund transfer, immediate payment system, that is IMPS. So in our office, all 100% of transactions, payments are through NEFT. So we don't generally, rarely we issue checks. Our inwards are also all NEFT. Rarely we get checks. So NEFT, new electronic fund transfers. Yes, so Harsh has said correctly. Cash credit loan is given on hypothecation against stock and or debtors. Term loan on assets. Good. And IMPS is immediate payment services. Achha, okay. So Harsh is answering the question. Thank you, Harsh. So Harsh is C, which is the fastest mode of money transfer. Okay. So we've got the first answer C. Let us check it. C, it's correct. I put this dicey question. So let me just refresh and see whether you have answered. I think so. The first question's answer was IMPS. The second question's answer, Shama has said NEFT. Right? I take it as second question's answer. The answer is IMPS, immediate payment system. Then the next that banks do is collections. So collections involve collecting proceeds on behalf of the group. So big service bank started providing 10 years back, but now due to NEFT, electronic fund transfers, see what exactly these collections were basically like. Suppose there's a company that is situated in my town and it has dealers across India. So 10 years back, the dealers had to make payments. So what they will do, they will not send check to the hometown, but they will deposit the check in the respective bank branch at their local city, town, village, whatever is the location. Banks used to provide check collection service. So all the dealers bank collect check and credit to the seller's account. But now because RTGS, NEFT are there, so you are not doing it. So this is a reduced business, but still it exists. Yes. So for both the questions, answer was IMPS. C is correct, Nandishwar. Thank you. Then banks can collect instrument issued by post offices. Cash collection services were there. In fact, cash collection is still being provided because there are a number of entities whose business is collecting cash. So multiple locations. So they tie up with the bank so that they need not engage an employee. The bank person goes to that location on designated time. They collects cash. So that cash is deposited in the bank. Cash collection services. Clearing services. ECS credit, ECS debit. So we'll see through diagram. Multiple sender, one receiver, ECS credit. So no definition is built in the diagram. Okay, so Henry has updated NEFT can be done on Sunday. So thank you. I accept that. It's learning. And see, technology is saying every day, so we can learn daily. Thank you. ECS credit, debit, reverse. One pair, multiple receivers. So your boss paying stipend to 10 articles is ECS debit. One pair, multiple receivers. Then LCs and LGs, letter of credits and guarantee. We've talked about it. Credit cards, you know. I'm not discussing this, so we all know it. Visa, Master, Amex, and now our own Indian RuPay cards. Debit cards, so telling to this bank account. So if you have amount, then you balance in the account, you can use that. And other banking services. Bank operation, retail banking, HNI account management, risk management. So now banks are providing this valued services, insurance making, broking, claims, underwriting, life insurance, non-life. Because see, State Bank of India, 1 crore customer, and SBI Life is a separate business. So it already has a database to sell its products. That is called as bank assurance. So that is for today. We are not taking this one. Now overview of core banking service that we take tomorrow. Any questions till today? There is one question I wanted to answer today that I requested the student to ping me again. Let me check it. So that is for today. Any questions for today's lectures? One question I had said I'll be answering at the end of the class. Yeah, VPN by Mansha. Now see, VPNs are virtual private networks. See what exactly is VPN? I'm trying to create an example. Say for example, I'm a fast-moving consumer goods company, FMCG company, and I have got what we call as clearing and forwarding agents, CFAs, across say all capital states in India. So I have at least 34 C and clearing and forwarding agents. Now, those clearing and forwarding agents stock goods for me as a company, and there are sales representative in each of the state in India and Union Territory who collect order and upload the order. So those orders are processed through CFAs based on the availability of stock. Now, this data from clearing and forwarding agents is uploaded to the central server. So I am using private telecom service provider service. Now, because I'm using a private telecom service provider service, so the connection I have got leased lines all across my clearing and forwarding agents so that I can get good speed. My head office is in say Mumbai. So all people will send data to Mumbai. They are sending data on public platform, public broadband. So there's a risk of loss of data. So what I do, I go to my service provider telecom company and request them to secure my public communication network. So what this company does, they come and then they create security. They use hardware, software, and create a secured network. That secured network is called as virtual private network. Virtual means it is actually not private, it is public, but it is so secure that it behaves like a virtual private network. That is why the name is given VPN. That is one part. Second part is the question that was put was example of hybrid cloud. No, but within the other cloud services, probably it will be covered. Let me check within which other cloud services this can be covered. Probably network as a service. That example would have been there. Yes, it is given. VPN. So network as a service, it can be there. So it is a cloud service, uh, part of infrastructure as a service. To be able to say it hybrid, I am not able to agree to it. It's principally public, but it is secured. Okay, so you want to multiply that it is public and now it is secured. So does it become hybrid? To me personally, no. Okay. Yeah, Henry, yes. In AFT, I have what? My name is not appearing. So, okay, Nakul. So you write by subject will be appearing, chapter will be appearing. You write by chapter, so institute knows. Okay. So thank you. We'll meet again day after tomorrow for the last session. Okay. So we are closing the session. Thank you.